They're shelling out for Jesus, ghosts, and pumpkin freaking salsa. But no matter how they make it rain, these TLC stars are sure as heck macking on the moolah. The TLC family could never be complete without Little People Big World. For Dad Matt Roloff, the show has served as a launchpad for many different aspects of his career, and he has certainly seen the payday to prove it.
That, my friends, is the pumpkin season plan in a nutshell.
Roloff navigated life as a businessman living with dwarfism, and in 2006, he hit the mainstream with his family's reality show. He served as the executive producer of the series and its 6-episode spin-off and specials. Roloff also works as a public speaker, having made appearances at Kids Included Together, the Association of Legal Administrators, and at a number of universities. Thanks to all that hustle, Roloff is estimated to be worth around $6 million. The working mom role on Little People Big World belonged to Amy Knight. Back when the show hit the air, Amy was married to Matt Roloff and welcomed fans across the world into their daily lives. The former couple also turned their Oregon farm into a public attraction. Open for the fall harvest and Halloween pumpkin season, the experience comes complete with a life-size airplane, a mine shaft, and a castle. The couple also launched their own pumpkin salsa company called Roloff Farm Salsa.
I'm not going away, and you're going to see me take on a stronger presence.
Although Amy and Matt announced their divorce in 2015 after 26 years of marriage, their brand continues to this day. Amy married real estate agent Chris Merrick in 2021, bringing her estimated $6 million net worth to the party.
I'm Stacy.
And I'm Clinton.
And we're from TLC's What Not to Wear.
Raise your hand if you watched What Not to Wear and got even more sassy than the hosts. Stacey London and Clinton Kelly were judgy and specific, yet incredibly supportive. And we loved watching them literally trash a client's existing wardrobe on camera.
I would argue that it's not so cool to wear a skirt like this and socks like that when you are in your 30s.
London was the perfect person to dish out fashion wisdom, and when the series came to an end in 2013, hearts across America were shattered into pieces. After a decade-long run on TLC, London turned her attention to fashion consulting and magazine editing. She has also made it big on the lecture circuit, giving talks on self-esteem and the ways in which it influences how people present themselves. She even gave a keynote lecture at Harvard. After keeping it stylish all these years, London's got a cool $8 million to her name. Well, we can't talk about Stacey London without mentioning Clinton Kelly. The dynamic duo brought charm, charisma, and lessons in confidence to audiences everywhere with What Not to Wear. Before being tapped to collab with London for the series, Kelly was a communications major at Northwestern University, focusing on a career in magazine writing and editing. Contributing to the likes of the Daily News Record, Mademoiselle, and Marie Claire, Kelly made the jump from print to screen thanks to QVC. And it was from there that he found his way to TLC and into the hearts of America.
Want to hang out with some drag queens?
Yeah.
Let's go do it. All right.
Kelly and London co-hosted What Not to Wear from 2003 until 2013. And in 2011, Kelly also started co-hosting the hit Food Network talk show The Chew. The fashion expert then teamed up with London for yet another joint venture, with the two releasing a book together, in addition to Kelly's previous publications. His work on camera and in print has earned him a pretty penny. And while we don't see him on TV as much as we used to, the former TLC host is chewing on an estimated $4 million in assets. One of TLC's greatest hot mess hits is 90 Day Fiancé. The series has spawned a number of spin-offs, including Before the 90 Days and 90 Days The Single Life, and each episode is better than the last. Now a household name, Darcy Silva definitely made her mark on the network, and she reportedly made about $15,000 per season and $2,500 for every reunion episode. If the 90 Day franchise wasn't enough, Darcy also stars in her own spin-off, Darcy and Stacey, documenting her life alongside her twin sister Stacey. The sisters also launched their fashion line and beauty brand House of 11, and the boutique boasts some pretty high-profile fans, including Nicki Minaj and Demi Lovato. If she doesn't spend it all on cosmetic surgeries, Darcy will be sitting pretty with her estimated $2 million.
It's worth it.
It is worth it.
Say Yes to the Dress couldn't exist without Randy Finoli. New York's Kleinfeld bridal store showcases just about the most expensive and luxurious bridal gowns around, and Randy aims to make every bride's dreams come true.
This is our job.
Okay.
No stress here.
Okay.
We're just trying on dresses.
Randy stepped out in the fashion world in 1990 when he won Miss Gay America. Using the prize money to put himself through the program at the Fashion Institute in New York, he later became the fashion director at Kleinfeld. He first made a name for himself with Say Yes to the Dress in 2007. And he went on to host Say Yes to the Dress Randy Knows Best in 2011. So how do all those princess seams and illusion necklines work out for Randy? As a true fan favorite of the long-running series, he's banking an estimated net worth of $8 million.
What is a Long Island medium?
This is a Long Island medium.
Believe her or not, there's a good chance you've watched Long Island Medium. Following Teresa Caputo and her family, the series debuted on TLC in 2011 and has been conjuring up the spirits ever since. Of course, a certain number of skeptics have emerged since Caputo's rise to fame, with some claiming that she's just good at reading people. Still, others see her as a true visionary who can speak to those who have departed this world. But no matter which side you're on, there appears to be good money in bringing a loved one's memory to life. And these days, Caputo is worth about $3 million. No one does cake like the cake boss, Chef Buddy Valastro. The owner of the now-renowned Carlo's Bakery, Valastro's success on TLC led to a variety of spin-offs, including Cake Boss, Next Great Baker, Buddy's Bakery Rescue, and Kitchen Boss. But it's the original Cake Boss series that still has fans hungry for more.
Who wants to eat some cake?
But the lovable baker has been in the news for reasons besides his talents with the piping bag. In 2020, Valastro experienced a near-career-ending injury when his hand was impaled in his home bowling alley pin setter. But after a miraculous recovery, Valastro is back to business and enjoying his estimated $10 million net worth. After Little People Big World made such a huge splash on TLC, the network tapped another family for its roster, and fans instantly fell in love with the little couple.
They're just such happy kids, and it's an honor and a privilege to be their parent.
Dr. Jen Arnold and her husband, Bill Klein, were introduced to audiences with a standalone special called Little People Just Married. The episode dropped in 2009, and the first season of their series followed shortly after. The show ran for more than a decade, with a hiatus in 2016, making Arnold and Klein household names. But reality star life hasn't always been easy for the family, and not just due to being followed around by fans or navigating the world with dwarfism. Viewers watched as cameras told the story of how Arnold survived a rare cancer after losing a pregnancy. But their candid take on their struggles and successes made this couple two of TLC's fan favorites. Along with Arnold's success as a doctor and educator, she and her hubby boast a collective $3.5 million to their name. As longtime fans well know, TLC shows run the gamut, featuring everything from devout religious families to parents pretty much selling their children into the pageant circuit. If nothing else, the network offers a window into lives that viewers may never experience for themselves. And one of those series was Sister Wives. Following patriarch and polygamist Cody Brown and his 4 wives, the show made its TV debut in 2010. At the time, Cody and his wives were all living under one roof in the state of Utah. And it wasn't long before Cody made his intentions clear about marrying a 4th wife, Robin. Cameras then captured the very large and blended family moving out of Utah due to the legal case lodged against them by the state. Cody was only ever legally married to one woman, first Mary, then Robin, with his other unions being described as spiritual. While the series remained a success, as the years went on, Cody's relationships with Mary, Janelle, and Christine have all crumbled in some capacity. But even so, fans are still scooping up what Sister Wives is selling. Despite providing for 18 kids and a growing number of grandkids,
I could sit down and cry.
Cody Brown is still worth roughly $800,000. Back in the day, the Duggar family stars of 19 Kids and Counting dominated TLC for years, as their family grew and kept on growing. For anyone living under a rock, Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, and of course their many children, made a splash on the network in 2008, inviting fans to peek into the lives of independent fundamentalist Baptists. Working to raise their small army of children, the conservative family homeschooled their brood and imposed extremely strict rules on everything from birth control to movies and TV shows to dating and the infamous side hug.
I think a lot of parents cheered for that one.
19 Kids and Counting became TLC's most popular show ever, bringing in more than 2 million viewers in the final season. Of course, the wholesome Duggar dynasty came to an abrupt end in 2015, when oldest son Josh Duggar was accused of molesting girls when he was 15 years old, including some of his sisters. 19 Kids and Counting was promptly taken off the air, and Josh was subsequently convicted for possession of child sex abuse images. Despite the devastating hit to the family's reputation, Jim Bob held on to a significant net worth. All told, he has an estimated $3.5 million in the bank.
It really is like a rainbow after the storm.